Caeleb, thank you so much for the time. How you doing today?
All right, dude, that was the quickest hop on and start rolling, dude. That was the greatest thing ever. I'm doing good, dude.
You are going to be here in Austin for South by Southwest. Really cool panel discussion on Monday. The panel is titled Fuel Incredible, Your Recipe for Peak Performance. It's you, fellow Olympian Gabby Thomas, and Kathy Lee Beagle, who is a celebrity chef and entrepreneur as well. In terms of this idea of fueling incredible, of course, that implies a sort of nutritional element, but it is all encompassing, Caeleb. And your story is obviously one that is important to just understand everything that goes into achieving peak success.
Yeah, man. I all the rumors are that this is the place to be at South by Southwest, so I'm pretty excited. Seems to be a whole lot going on. So I'm a quick trip in and out, but it's a whole lot I got to get done. So I'm excited to go. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of details, a lot of paths, a lot of doors that you have to explore with swimming and any sport and any passion and any career choice, to be honest. So yeah, it's been fun to have Nulo a part of mine, my whole family, my animals, everybody. There's a lot that goes into this, and I think this year, finally having the realization of not being macho man, I can't do this by myself. I'm a good listener. That's the only thing I credit my success for. I pretty much just do what I'm told. So I have a good time. I've been enjoying it. Been on a little bit of a break post Paris. Not a little bit. I've been on a huge break post Paris. So pretty much just been lifting, as you can tell, and then going up to the pool every now and then and just swimming a few laps. So it's been a nice little break. Been fun to travel, catch up with all my sponsors, and be a part of the people who have gotten me where I am.
Well, I feel like that's an important element of peak performance is understanding that it's okay to step away from whatever that activity is for a little bit of time. That allows you to recharge and it allows you to feel sort of refreshed whenever you decide to get back into it.
Honestly, I wish I listened to myself more because I mean I'm good at saying all the stuff, but it's very hard for me to take a break. So I'm not training. We're not using the T word around these parts. I haven't been training. Like I said, I've just been going up to the pool and splashing, falling in love with the water again. Because I mean, you do get zapped post Olympics or really, World Championships, nationals, whatever it is. It takes a lot out of you mentally, physically, spiritually. So you certainly have to recuperate and get your battery levels back. So the water's never been a problem for me. The water's a wonderful place. It's quiet down there. I'm glad I can hold my breath a while because I really love it in the water. So, right now I think it's just rekindling that relationship and getting my spark back between me and the old lady, the old lady being the water. But it's a wonderful place to be.
So you as somebody who loves to get in the water, even if you're not always necessarily engaging in the T word, you have a son who just turned one. You've got another one on the way. I bring this up because I have two kids, a 10 and an 8-year old, and I have to say, going back to when they were pre-one, one of my favorite memories and something I'll cherish for the rest of my life is helping to teach them how to swim, how to get comfortable in the
Hmm.
water. With your 1-year old, have y'all started going through those steps, the whole pushing them forward so they understand how to hold their breath and the sort of buoyancy that comes into play for children like that?
So we brought him in the pool multiple times. We haven't started the actual swim lessons. We want to wait till he's a little bit older, and this is just personal preference. I
Yeah.
know, there's a few of my family members who have done it when they're, I think, under one. They started the I forget the actual name, the abbreviation for the thing, but the where they learn to save their life and not learn to get out of a pool or whatnot. But we're gonna wait till he's a little bit older, and I think we'll kind of start the life saving skill that swimming is, as well as technique, kind of all in one. Because I think that's something that me and Megan would like to do ourselves. So yeah, we're holding off for a bit, but he loves the water. I'll put it that way. Bath time is a disaster most nights. I pretty much just wear a speedo anyways for bath time, just because I get drenched. So yeah, man, it's hard to keep him out of the water. But it's been a very special time. We have a little girl coming in June, so we'll be 16 months apart. How far apart are yours?
They're almost 2 years. It's 23 months. That's a
23
that's
months.
a good distance. You don't want there to be too great a distance because oftentimes the siblings will lose that connection if there's a too large of an age gap. But it's like having, and I know you're fond of animals, and we'll certainly talk about this in just a sec. It's like if you have one dog, you may as well have two dogs because they keep one another occupied to allow you to do other adult stuff when you need to.
Yeah, Megan. See, Megan tried to pull that lingo on me that you just did there, but I just want one dog. So I'm Jane's best friend. So she's actually on this call with me. She's just monitoring you, make sure nothing goes wrong. But Yeah, I'm fine with one dog. That James, my first dog, and only at the moment. But we have the cat and chickens and cows. I'm looking at them all running around out behind me. But yeah, I've grown up with animals. My dad was a veterinarian, so we always had dogs and cats and horses and chickens. We had everything. It's a very quick way to learn responsibility when you're a kid.
Well, you're living the caveat right now. You don't need a second dog when you've got chickens and cows and cats and other animals to occupy that animal's attention span at times. Speaking of, though, you are a part of a really cool partnership with Nulo. It is an Austin-based pet food company. For you, as somebody, as you just mentioned, your dad was a veterinarian. You've been around animals your entire life. Just how important was it for you to partner up with someone who cares so much about the type of food that you are serving your animals? Because ultimately, that can be a net positive or a net negative. If you're going too cheap on the ingredients, and Nulo does not cut any cost there.
Yeah, I mean it was huge, and especially leading into 2024, I was being very particular about who I brought on as partnerships for myself, and I've also I want to be able to sleep at night, so I want both both parties to be happy. I want to be able to do my part and it come across as organic for myself, and then also for the company. I don't want to just take someone's money and call it a day. I want to form a relationship with these people, get to know them, and I want them to be passionate about what they do, and they should expect the same in return from me. So it was a really fun relationship that we've developed over the past couple years. But that's the first person I talked to when they contacted my agent. So Michael came and reached out to my agent, and I was like, I don't know if I'm looking for anything at this moment. I want to say Megan had like just gotten pregnant, or it was something like that, or if I think I'd just kind of gotten back in the water. I went on a really long break, so I was being very strategic, very tedious about who I brought on. Then I had a conversation with Michael. Found out he was a fellow swimmer. Just loves his animals and loves being around the water. And I was like, all right, at least I got to pick up the phone and call this guy. If I'm going to feel like I'm just talking to him, talking to myself, a guy who loves the pool and a guy who loves his black lab. So made it easy. I hopped on a conversation with the guy, immediately fell in love with them, and then sent me a couple of their products, read the labels, and they really made it quite easy on me. So it's been a fantastic relationship that I've continued to build. I've been very proud to be a part of them. They've kept my animals happy. Michael's been hilarious. I'm trying to get Jane on a dog food bag. So Michael keeps all his. Michael's the big dog at the company. Just want to be clear here before I just spam and say that name 100 times. But yeah, his dog is on a lot of the dog food bags, and it's a black lab. Max is his name. So I'm trying to get Jane on a dog food bag.
Oh, that'd be huge. That's maybe a step above getting a sandwich named after you at the local deli.
It's like, dude, that's the dog equivalent to the Wheaties box, So that's Jane's officially made it if she gets on a Nulo bag.
Yeah, well, whether you're talking about pets or humans, certainly high performance athletes, nutrition is a very important element there. I feel like you swimmers, you have a little bit of a cheat code though, because you're in that cold water all day, which is triggering that brown fat that causes you to just shed pounds like crazy, on top of the fact that you're already burning a ton of calories with what it is that you're doing, training day in and day out. What are some of the most important elements for you nutritionally as we get back into what this panel discussion is going to be about on Monday? The most important nutritional elements for you when you are truly locked in, getting ready for that next competition.
Have you read the Wim Hof book? I heard you
Oh
just
yeah,
mention. Yeah, I heard you mention brown fat. I was like, oh, this guy knows. I got a plunge ice bath actually in my pole board.
I ice bath this morning before I tried the gold medal abs challenge. We'll talk about that.
Nice, dude. Nice. Yeah, I was like, not a lot of people just casually throw out brown fat. Yeah, it's like I said in the right when we kicked off the interview. I mean, there's a million different outlets you can take between how much are you sleeping, how many massages, what am I eating, what am I doing in training, what am I doing in the weight room. It can be very overwhelming. I feel like the easiest two to take care of is going to be sleep and nutrition. So lucky for me, my wife is about as crunchy as they come. So she's reading labels. I want to say 99% of what we have in our house is organic, including our chickens' eggs. We make sure the food we feed them. We try to take care of our bodies best we can in this household, but it comes back to mom. She's been fantastic. So she makes it easy on me. And yeah, I eat, I'm kind of like a horse. I could just kind of graze throughout the day. Luckily for me, most of what we have in the house, as long as I can pronounce the ingredient, I know it's going to be good for me. So yeah, Megan does a good job of cooking everything and just keeping everything we have in the household clean. So that goes for everybody. It's not just, I don't want just me, Megan, and my son eating good. Same for the cows, the chickens, and certainly Jane and Rim. So like I said, Nulo made it easy. They ship me. I mean, I get my goodie box once. I should say Jane and Rims get their goodie box once a month, and they take care of them. They've been thriving, but they're going to live forever. I'm convinced of it. I sure hope they do. So yeah, it goes for all the Dressels under the roof here in Florida. We want everybody eating clean. We want everybody living as long as they can and being happy.
I probably need to apologize to you right now because I've buried the lead in terms of what you and I may care most about in this world, and that is our respective college football teams and the sport on the whole. You are a University of Florida alum. You and or your team and my Texas Longhorns did play this past season in
I was like,
Houston.
yeah, I was like, what team are you? That could have been a lot worse. You could have set up something much, much worse.
Yeah, well, we'll eventually have time to establish that rivalry. Things are fairly new right now, and the two programs are in maybe slightly different places. But I was convinced when you guys hired Billy Napier that he was going to lead. He was going to be the guy to lead you back to the promised land. It hasn't happened just yet. There is a lot of conversation happening as to whether he will be the guy long term. Of course, Florida brings him back because DJ Lagway looks like a legitimate dude at that quarterback position. Where are you with Florida football right now, Caleb?
So I was pretty upset. I want to say around because Billy came on and remind me what year was it? 21.
Yes, yeah.
He's going into year four.
Yep.
So last year, I want to say the first half of the season, I was off the Billy train, and then I hope he doesn't see this because I did. My guy's awesome. He's also jacked, dude. I've seen Billy in the weight room a couple times. I
Think
think
he
it was before.
is? Interesting.
Yeah, man. He's a big boy. He's like I want to say he's like 6'4".
Oh,
He's a beast. It was before one of the games, dude. I can't remember. It was like an hour till kickoff. And I was doing something on the field, so I was in there. And my guy, he's just repping curls. He's repping curls. So the first half of the season was definitely very frustrating. Just because we had a decent recruiting class. I want to say we were top 20 for this year. So we knew, there's only so much you can expect when you're not cracking the top 10, especially for an SEC team, especially being Florida football. So all things considering for this year, I thought we did pretty well in the transfer portal. I thought those guys did well. The last half of the season was something out of a storybook. So, finishing 8-5, not the standard, certainly at Florida football when I was growing up in the urban era, and where, the speed kills videos on YouTube where we had Dimps, Rainey, Harvin, all those guys. So I'm hoping.
Harvin is still one of the freakiest college football athletes ever. I
Oh
wish it
yeah,
translated more at the NFL level because man, he was something special in college.
yeah, you put him anywhere because he would do wildcat. You put him at receiver. You could put him at running back. He was so fun to watch. So number one person, not number eight, number one. Yeah, dude. So the second half of the season, I want to say their turning point was I can't remember the exact game, but it was pretty much we could have either gone belly up. Oh, it was after the Texas game actually. We could have either gone belly up and let the rest of the season go, but we still had some fight in there. So again, we're not at the standard of what we want to be. I think 8-5 is unacceptable for Florida as a program.
Yeah.
It's not Alabama when they're getting upset when they lose two games or something like that. So I hope we can get to that point. But I'm back on the Billy train, dude. I think for what he has done and what he wants to do of a complete, rebuild, I think you do need more than 3 years. So I think I think next year really is going to be the official crunch time of, all right, let's see what he's got going. Because we got a top 10 recruiting class. We got DJ, figuring things out every single game, looking better and better. That hamstring's all healed up. So I'm looking forward to Florida football for next year. But no, the 7-5 and the 8-5, we need to be done with that. We need to get into those 10-win seasons. But I'm not a head football coach, and I love my Gators no matter what. I saw a text. They made me take this off right before I hopped on the interview. So I was like, I saw my greasy hairs just flopping around. But yeah, dude, I've grown up with college football. That was some of my core memories have all come from. Have you seen Inside Out? Let me just derail. You said you have two kids. The Inside Out
Oh yeah,
movies.
yeah, great movie.
The part where it's like she makes the core memories,
Yeah.
and those are like the glow. Dude, that most of my core memories are college football, watching it with my pops, or the Gators blocking a field goal. Like just very vivid memories of all coming from college football. And that's actually what I wanted to do as a kid, was play receiver. Because I was pretty quick on land and I was pretty tall, but swimming ended up sticking with swimming. I had a hard time with team sports. So yeah, dude, my Gators, we're making it. We're making it to the SEC championship. It'll be Gators in Texas. Mark my word.
Oh, love to hear that. I still am eternally grateful for you guys denying the Oklahoma Sooners another national championship and embarrassing them in the process too. So thanks for that.
Oh,
Speaking of,
2008, the
oh
2008
yeah,
game.
oh yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah.
Speaking of Florida Gators and graduating from that school, there is an alumnus for Florida who has a reputation in swimming, who is lauded in these parts. That being the great Eddie Reese, perhaps the GOAT of swim coaching. Now, you didn't cross paths with him in terms of when he was with the U.S. team. I think he retired after 2012 from
Oh no,
coaching
I had.
the U.S. team, and you competed in Rio in 2016. But you've made a lot of trips to Austin. Have you ever had any conversations with Eddie? And if so, was there an important piece of knowledge that he imparted on you with regards to swimming or competition or anything like that?
Yeah, let me just clear this up. Eddie is the GOAT, dude.
Thank you.
I know. I mean, there's not. I'm not going to debate you on that. So it was funny actually. It came between Florida and Texas for myself when I was being recruited. And quite honestly, I just didn't think Eddie was going to still be coaching when I was looking at Texas. Little did I know he'd go for another 8 years or whatever it was. So
He wanted to retire for a decade. It's just people
yeah,
kept begging him to come back because we
yeah.
didn't lose him.
Yeah. So no, I fell in love with Florida, and I certainly made the right choice there. But Eddie, I've been on multiple team trips with him, whether it's worlds, tons of Olympic camps. At first, I thought he just didn't like me because of his sense of humor and how he, pokes and jabs. And then I found out probably after 3 years of being on trips with the guy, I was like, oh, this is how he works and operates, and that means he likes you. So now I've gotten good at dishing it back at him. Anytime I see him using a phone, I'm like, oh, you know how to use one of those things? Are you kidding me? But yeah, he'll text me. He'll text me photos every now and then when he goes duck hunting. Send me photos of some of his pups. But yeah, Eddie's the man, dude. He's as witty as ever. He's as young as ever, and just a legend in the sport that swimming certainly needed.
What is something that you've learned from Eddie over the years, Caeleb?
So I want to share a story. I feel like that sums up Eddie pretty good. And this isn't my story. I heard this from one of my coaches at UF that swam under Eddie, actually. So Eddie, any swimming he would go to, he would flip a coin in the pool. And I think after enough times of my coach watching this, he finally asked Eddie, he's like, Eddie, why do you do that? And he thought it was going to be some, elaborate reason of, oh, it's good luck. You have to flip a coin into lane 2 at this time. Eddie just said, just to see who picks it up. And that was it. So he's a very simple man. He cares about his swimmers. He cares about the sport. There's not a lot of bull crap. There's actually zero bull crap that gets tagged along with Eddie. So I think his simplicity, his passion, his straightforwardness, his creativity, which I don't think a lot of people would give Eddie credit for, but I don't think that guy ever wrote a single practice down. I think it all just came up from his mind. So I know a lot about the guy for never having swum under him. But yeah, I think he has this addictive personality where he just calms you when you're around him. So yeah, I think people who swam under him can probably, I think delineate a little bit more on that. This is just off a couple team trips. I feel like I've known the guy for my whole life. He's a great guy.
Yeah, that lines up with everything that I've ever heard about Coach Reese. So that's really cool to hear. And last thing now, Caeleb, you're going to be in town for South by Southwest on Monday to share some secrets to your success. So let's end here. What do you love about swimming?
Oh God. I think the creativity that I get to put into the sport. As I said, I was obsessed with football. I probably know more about college football than I do about swimming, to be quite honest. But I didn't do well with team sports. I like swimming. At the end of the day, I can point the finger at myself, whether it was good, whether it was bad. There's always a door I can open, always a path to get better at, always new people to meet. It's guys and girls in the water, which is a lovely thing. I'm not just around a bunch of meatheads all day. That has a time and place for that. Those are some really good practices when the girls aren't in town, but sometimes the ladies help balance it out. So I just think that's how I met my wife too. I've just met some wonderful people across the world, wonderful coaches. All my wedding partner swam with me. My wedding party swam with me at some point. So it's just taken me some beautiful places, and I hope it will continue to do so. And Nulo being one of those partnerships. Yeah, I think I'll forever be in debt to the water.
He is 9-time gold medalist Caeleb Dressel. He's going to be here in Austin at South by Southwest this Monday at one of the most fascinating looking panel discussions at this year's South by. It is Fuel Incredible, your recipe for peak performance. It's Caeleb, Gabby Thomas, and Kathy Lee Beagle. It is 4 to 5 o'clock on Monday. So make sure to check that out. Also go to SXSW.com for more info. And also make sure to check Nulo out at your local pet food store. That is Nulo.com, Nulo.com. Caeleb, thank you so much for the time today, man. It's been a real pleasure. Hopefully we have a chance to do it again at some point because we didn't even scratch the surface with the Olympic gold medal ab workout that killed me earlier today.
Did you actually do it? Did you actually try it out?
Oh, I tried. I didn't make it to the final set, though. I mean, you and Ryan Lochte were like going like beasts. I was getting to like 8 and 10 reps sometimes when I needed to do 15 or 20.
Yeah, dude, the YouTube channel's been a fun little addition. I want the sport to be as accessible as possible. I don't want someone to have money or be in the right place at the right time to put on a swim clinic. So I'm just trying to put as much free stuff as I can out on the YouTube channel. So whether you're underprivileged or just not in the right area or don't have time, and whether you're 5 years old or you're a master swimmer, I want everyone to be able to enjoy the sport like I've gotten to. So I've been fortunate enough where I've been surrounded by great people, like all my UF coaches, Coach Eddie, bunch of different Olympians. So I'm just trying to share my knowledge, and I guess have people really hurt doing the ab workout. But yeah, there's a couple stroke technique if you wanna try out some of those. This might be a little easier.
Well, selfishly for me, as somebody who stays in shape at the age of 47 playing beach volleyball, I saw you, it was a beach volleyball that you were playing around with before the leg workout. I'd like to see you competing on the AVP tour at some point, considering the wide range of sports love that you have that goes well beyond the pool.
Oh yeah, dude. You know what's funny about that is if swimming and track didn't exist, I like going fast. I would probably do beach volleyball. I can't tell you how many hours. I would skip. What's the statute of limitations on this? I would skip class with school. They don't care about. No one's gonna arrest me for this. I would skip class just to go to the gym to play volleyball. I absolutely love volleyball. I think it's some of the most athletic people on this planet. So yeah, certainly an infatuation with volleyball. Wonderful sport, especially beach volleyball, dude. I can wear a Speedo, dive around. It's a great time.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Caeleb, thank you so much for the time, man. Safe travels to and from Austin this weekend.
Yeah, Trey. Appreciate you, man.